Valve Software has a reputation as entrepreneurs when it comes to first-person shooters, and they've taken a calculated risk with their latest title, Left 4 Dead, relying heavily on the all-too-familiar zombie apocalypse. I'd first like to point out that Dead Rising and the Resident Evil Biohazard series are not composed of first-person shooter games. In spite of the heavy saturation of zombies in the video game industry, this is one of their first appearances in the first-person shooter genre. Furthermore, these are not the zombies that everyone is used to from Resident Evil Biohazard. Unlike the slow-moving targets featured in that game, these zombies, appropriately referred to as infected, run quickly at the player and can overwhelm him or her just as quickly. Thankfully, you'll be armed with a trusty firearm and accompanied by 3 other, hopefully human teammates in order to stop that from happening.
Run or shoot? Run or shoot! Whoa!
There is no story. You choose to play one of 4 different survivors, each with a name and an implied background, but they're little more than avatars, and the game lacks any sort of exposition. Your main objective is to survive, and that's pretty much all there is to Left 4 Dead. There are 4 different scenarios to explore within the campaign, with each scenario putting the survivors in a different sort of environment, like a forest or a city. The survivors are then forced to shoot their way through hordes of infected, collecting whatever resources they can find along the way, and making pit stops at safe houses for checkpoints, ammo, and health packs. Each scenario ends with the survivors finding some ultimate means of escape, though this only happens after enduring an overwhelming zombie attack of epic proportions. You can tackle the campaign by yourself or with up to 3 other friends. The NPC characters are supposed to imitate actual players, but they are by no means the smartest allies you'll ever have, and in most instances, you'll still feel like you're playing by yourself. You'll need to employ health packs, pipe bombs, Molotov cocktails, pain pills, and a modest arsenal of firearms if you want to survive the infection. Enemies navigate the environment with astounding ferocity, climbing up walls and leaping off rooftops. You'll also have an occasional run-in with special infected, playing the role of mini-boss encounters, some of which can be terrifying. With only 4 possible scenarios to play through, each taking about 30 minutes to complete, you'd think that the game might wear out its welcome quickly, and for cynics or gamers who enjoy a more content-filled experience, it just might. The game itself manages to survive only because of an AI-based progression system known as the Director, which makes sudden changes to the gameplay when you least expect it. What this means is that nothing ever happens the same way twice. While you'll traverse the same areas during every playthrough, what happens in those areas can vary wildly each time you play. An area that was empty during one playthrough might be swarming with zombies next time. Items found in one place in your last playthrough will be in a completely different location next time. It's refreshing because you don't know quite what to expect from one moment to the next, but the twitch shooting core gameplay might still get repetitious to gamers who yearn for more content. If you're an impulsive gamer who just likes to shoot people's heads off, you'll be right at home. Cooperation is absolutely essential if you're playing with other gamers, and this is especially true on the harder difficulty settings. Uncoordinated efforts at survival will most often get you killed, as will attempting to go lone wolf on the other survivors. This is where the game sort of fails, not because it emphasizes cooperation, but because so few gamers understand the meaning of the word. This means you'll have a hard time finding a match full of competent players who won't shoot you in the back and leave you for dead, and having friends who also own the game can substantially increase its overall replay value. The game also features an 8-player versus mode in which teams of 4 take turns playing as either the survivors trying to shoot their way to the next safe house, or the infected trying to stop that from happening. As different as this mode is from the average competitive multiplayer, it still doesn't feel as full-featured as it could have been. It's always tough to create an action game that offers honest-to-God unique types of enemies to slaughter, and this is particularly true of first-person shooters. There are so many cliched bad guys in the business that developers are hard-pressed to think of something new to throw at the player. Of course, sticking to what works isn't a bad thing either. No gamer needs an excuse to massacre aliens, terrorists, demons, Nazis, zombies, or boy bands, because they're all bad and everyone knows it. The difficulty lies in creating an experience that hasn't been replicated by dozens of developers over and over again. World War II games. The simple fact is that Left 4 Dead is a first-person shooter featuring zombies should be enough to perk anyone's interest. The game's risky attempt at substituting extra content for the randomizing director is also a good reason to approach with caution. Not because it doesn't succeed, but because it just might not be worth the dive for every gamer. A rental is definitely in order here, but the game's departure from the traditional FPS formula also makes Left 4 Dead a must-play.